All right, welcome back to another Realtor Spotlight. Again, my name is Aaron Melby. I'm a mortgage broker with Edge Home Finance, and today I have the pleasure of having Allie with us. Allie Guerra. Hold on now, is it Guerrera? Guerra? How do I pronounce the last name?
Nobody ever gets it right. It's okay. It's Guerra.
Guerra. Okay,
But if you are Spanish, you're supposed to say it more with like the R roll, the accent, but I'm not
okay.
good.
Hold on. Is it Guerra?
Yes.
Hey, look at that. All right, all
You can do
right.
it better than me. I did not do well
Well,
in
I
Spanish.
don't know about that. I wouldn't. Hey, I wouldn't trust any of the Spanish speaking clients. I've got a buddy that I can hand that off to. But well, I've got Allie here. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a busy gal. So just wanted to kind of jump right into it. Why don't you tell everybody, just reintroduce who you are, who do you work with, how long you've been in the business, and then any fun facts or anything exciting about
Fun
yourself.
fact. Okay. Well, I'm Allie Guerra. Yeah, I have been licensed since 2016, so going on 9 years now. So lots of great amount of time under my belt. I'm on the Kirby and Christina real estate team with Remax Results, and so I've been with them since 2017, and it's been a great ride. I absolutely love our team. We have a nice large team. We do about 750 homes a year. I sell
Wow.
about 70 myself, so a lot of great experience that I get to bring to the table for my clients. So,
Wow, that's awesome. So, and I've seen Kirby and Christina, great real estate team there. So in terms of like the areas that you serve, do you consider yourself, do you try to stick to a certain area? Do you go out, talk
I go
about,
all
yeah, kind of all, and then talk about like if someone were to buy, obviously, like you said, all over what if people are looking to buy like in another state? How does that work?
Well, in another state, we've got great referral partners. So we can find, referral partners in those areas that would be a good fit for the client. But in the Twin Cities metro Minnesota area, I mean, I feel like we go we go a ways. I mean, I go past Elk River, I go, south, past New Prague, things like that. We'll go all over, but our team location is in Plymouth, kind of West Metro. So we do a lot of listings and things like that over in that Plymouth, Wayzata Schools area, which is great. But I go all over.
Yeah, fantastic. So I have to ask, so because you travel a lot, I can't even imagine. Let me ask you this. How many in the last, you said 9 years, right? How
Mhm.
many vehicles have you gone through with the mileage that you put on your car?
Well, I guess I had a different car. Oh my gosh. I had a Kia before I had got my Audi in 2020. I did have a lot of miles on that. I did, but I got that because we were having another kid, or I think that was why we got the car. I don't know. But I do, it's like, I think it's like over 20,000. It's usually 20 to 25,000 miles a year,
Yeah.
um, for mileage. So, and then then we got a new car this past year. We got a van, but I try to keep my business vehicle and my van separate. But yeah, we put on a lot of miles.
Yeah, exactly. So, staying along that theme, putting on the mileage, I have to know, since real estate agents spend so much time in their vehicle, what's Allie's go-to car snack if you're a snacker in the car, and then also like, to wash it down. What do you drink? And is it a
Oh my
coffee
gosh.
drink,
Okay.
an
All
energy
right.
drink?
I'm pretty lame. Water and coffee, I guess.
Okay.
Water and coffee. And to be honest, if I am like on the road a lot, like I'll just have like I have a little just cooler that I bring with me, and it has like yogurt, fruit, like granola bars. Like it's nothing fancy. Maybe a goldfish snack I took from my kids or something.
You are keeping it simple. I love the fact that you have a little cooler too. I mean, you never
It's
know.
like,
You
yeah.
never know what you're gonna be craving, on that.
Well, or it's like you could be in the car for a long time, and it's like you miss if we're doing showings, like we oftentimes miss like lunch. So we bring lunch. I bring it with.
Yeah,
I eat it in the car.
yeah, exactly. That is so funny. What, being in this business, so we're pretty similar in terms of like the amount of years that we've been in our respective fields. We could sit here and probably talk for literally an hour.
hmm
But what what do you love most? After 9 years, right? You've seen a lot now. We've experienced some different markets, now, obviously with this one that we're in, higher rate environment, when I started, right,
Hmm.
2016,
Yeah, we were
rates
higher. Yeah.
rates were okay, and then we saw COVID hit, and we all know what happened there. But this is, for
It got
me,
crazy.
this is a lot of the, this is, when rates kind of tick towards 8%, this last year, this is really kind of my first, piece of adversity dealing with, kind of a higher rate environment. What challenges, or do you see any challenges, with a higher rate environment that we're in?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, the good news is people still need to buy and sell homes all the time.
Yeah.
I'm noticing this spring that with the rates, not having improved like many hoped that they would, um, things just aren't moving as quickly as I've seen past years. And granted, we're only in February, but a lot of times I see homes sell pretty quick, and there's a lot of competition, and I'm still seeing some of that. But I feel like the rate environment is causing people to be a lot more selective
Yeah.
on what they're buying.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say that the rates are making, or I was just going to say that the selection and what they're being a little bit more picky about what they
100%.
want. But I also, and I think too, you know, rates are the rates, right? But I
Yeah,
think,
they are what they are. I
they're
mean,
what they are. And I think is if we focus, especially on the lending side, I look at more what's that payment comfortability. I
yeah,
mean, if we are within $100, then at that point, the buyer or buyers, they can determine and communicate amongst themselves. Well, can we ixnay a few, Starbucks runs throughout the month to make
yeah.
this work, until we are in an environment where we can potentially refinance. And, I always tell people, the right time to buy, I think, and I was going to make a video about this, but I think the right time to buy is when you're ready.
Well, yeah,
Um,
that's what we say too. Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's about the payment and what you can afford, and
mhm.
staying within your means, don't stretch
Yeah.
yourself further than you want to or need to, buy what you can afford, what you're comfortable with, and then if rates improve, which,
Mhm.
odds are they will at some point of your ownership, you never know, and I can't
Yep.
promise, then refinance, and
Yeah,
see if you can
exactly.
can't save some money that way. So yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah,
hundred
I think
percent.
you're
So one of the things, being in, 9 years, one of the things that I kind of, yeah, back into my restaurant days, before mortgage, I was in the restaurant business, and
oh yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
yeah, so I was a general manager actually for Outback Steakhouse, and then the last like 9.5, almost 10 years of my career, I was with Buffalo Wild Wings. I was a general manager with those concepts, and two
Cool.
things. So number one was, as a manager, I wanted to create an environment where people said I get to go to work versus I have to go to work, and I was like,
Hmm.
that's the duty that I was charged with that I felt as a general manager, to be like, I need to create that environment. And then number two, we've heard the old saying, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Now, over 9 years, like what gets you up in the morning and what keeps you going? You know, I mean, we can be motivated by fear and we can be motivated by money. So maybe a little bit of fear, if you don't sell a house, you don't get a paycheck. That's another thing.
Well,
But
yeah, money's a big thing. I mean, we got to pay our bills.
but what do you love about being a realtor, and what kind of keeps you going after 9 years?
Yeah, I mean, I like that it is a job where I don't do the same thing every day. I do a lot of the same motions, but in different ways. I work with a lot of different clients. So, and my what each day is not the same. And so that's really cool for me. I really am not a person who would thrive sitting behind a desk from 8 to 4. I like to go, go, go. Like, I think that's good for me. And just kind of switch it up. I love helping people. Like I think it's an amazing feeling when you help them find a house that they absolutely love and then get them into that house. There are a lot of challenges in real estate to get into a house. Sometimes there's multiple offers or there's really tough inspection negotiations or just I've probably seen it all now, having sold almost 500 homes. It's just there's so many things that we have to get through for our clients as a either a listing agent or a buyer's agent, really.
Yeah.
And just helping clients navigate through that and just getting them to the finish line. So,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. There's always something new, and I think that's
mhm.
exactly right, right? Like even though you're writing the contracts, right? I mean, it's kind of like, hey, I'm writing up a Minnesota real estate contract. It's kind of like you do those same tasks or activities, but it's the people that are
Same
different,
but
right?
different. Yep.
The restaurant industry, right? You're serving tables, but every table is a different person. So you have an opportunity to make that connection. And one thing that I
Totally.
will say, about you, what I've come to know is that you are definitely relationships over transactions, right? And in
Yeah,
making that
thank you.
special connection with people. And I think that's important because unfortunately, and there are a lot of people that are just transaction driven, and that's okay if that's the way they want
Mhm.
to do it. My whole philosophy has always been people over profit and putting people first. And if I do that at the end of the year, that W-2 is or 1099, that money takes care of itself if you just kind of do the right things. So
Oh, that's 100%. Yeah. And that's I see the most successful people in our business are the ones that do operate in that manner and
yeah.
really just treat people the way that you would want to be treated or that I would want to be treated.
Mhm.
Um, and then it kind of falls into place from there. So,
Yeah, 100%.
so that's kind
So
of been, yeah. So having worked in restaurants, I always, it taught me to like really multitask and like talk how to talk to people and stuff like that. So that's something that I feel like really helped me transition into the real estate world. Um, yeah, so it's been pretty cool.
what restaurant where did you work in the business? What'd you
So
do?
I worked at Red Lobster
Okay.
for a number of years in the St. Cloud area when I went to college. And then I worked in the Roseville Red Lobster too when I transferred to the U of M. And then I was at Champs for a while until it closed in the South
Yeah.
Metro. Um, where else did I work? Oh, Granite City.
Oh yeah, that was a
Um,
hopping place.
Granite City when Champs closed. And because I was at Champs for almost 10 years, that was like such a wonderful place to work. I loved it, but they went out of business over there. So
Hmm.
but it was good because that's when that place closed, that's when I was like, oh, I should get my real estate license. So that's kind of like helped me transition into something else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I wondered that too, because it was kind of a weird way that I got into this business. Like, everybody asks, like, oh, what'd you do before? And it's like, well, just the normal transition from restaurant general manager to a loan officer. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
that's
you know, didn't have a finance degree. It's just, but no, but I was worried. I was like, am I gonna, I thought about that too. Like you said, sitting behind a desk, and I'm just not that person. I mean, the first
a
company
time and a
that I
place for it, but I don't know. I can't do it.
yeah, I just
Afraid I
couldn't
was
do it. I just
it's
couldn't
tough.
do it. So there's no way. And I was like, am I going to have these transferable skill, or are my skills going to transfer over to the lending side of things? And I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to be behind a desk and all this. But yeah, it couldn't be further from the truth. And you're still
Right.
able to make connections and really impact people in a positive way. I mean, this is the biggest investment, right, that many people will ever make in
Hmm.
their entire life. And so yeah, it's really cool. So I know we chatted about this offline, but real estate agent, you,
Oh.
you deal with a lot of stuff, you see a lot of things. Do you have one particular story that sticks out, or any kind of a,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
crazy
So
experience?
probably like, well, it's coming up on a year ago. I had a listing in like kind of northeast Minneapolis. And I got called by a detective. It was a detective or a police officer, and he was questioning me about a package that was delivered to the property. It's just sitting on the front step right now, and this is a vacant property that's been vacant for months and months and months. It's an estate. It's vacant. It's in disrepair. Like, so what I learned is that this so-called package was sent by like some people trying to move drugs to Minneapolis or wherever and that they were using that address as their delivery place. So the police were watching to see if anyone was going to come and pick it up. So I guess they had been watching for a couple of days and nobody was coming to pick it up. And so they were kind of just like asking us, like, have you seen anybody? Like, do you know what this is about? Like, or whatever. And so, yeah, then we had to like get my clients had to call the detective and stuff like that. I think they just ended, I think they just ended up like removing the package. Like,
Yeah.
But it was kind of wild because yeah, luckily we were in pending status, so we weren't having showings coming like during this time. But I'm like, that's such a big risk to like send this big package of drugs to a house, let it sit outside.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of wild.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
could,
gosh.
yeah,
That's
I know.
I mean, so
That was a new one.
did they, so I'm assuming, right? They probably contacted you from the sign,
The
right? That
sign,
you're
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think they like called the
oh
main
my God.
line and then like the our team was like, yeah, that's Allie's listing. And then they like connected me and they're like, yeah, I think it's a detective or police officer, I remember, that wants to talk to you. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, this is detective. Oh, okay, this is new. This is new.
Yeah.
Oh my
And the
God.
guy was
That's
super nice and he was just like, he was just trying to get some information and trying to do his job. It was just, and I was
yeah.
like happy to help him. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I got any info for you, but we
Oh my
will keep our eye
gosh.
out.
I love that. Oh my God, that's crazy. No, this has been awesome. Yeah, just a couple more here. That I wanted to, I want to give you an opportunity to share a little bit, anything else, that you had, about your business. But I love talking goals. What are some
Mhm.
goals that you have for 2025? I'm assuming your team has talked, goals, whether it's professionally or personally. Maybe there's team goals, things like that they have. But what are some goals professionally that you have for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say my goal is, and we do set goals with our team every year. And my goal has been the same for the last few years, is just to sell about 70 homes. That's my goal. One year I sold 83 and it was a little bit too much. So I found my sweet spot. So that's really where I want to be, like just kind of operating in the same fashion that I have. I know how many appointments I need to do per week. I know how many clients I need to typically have at any given time to hit that goal. Our team is really good about tracking all that stuff, conversion and things like that. So yeah, I want to obviously achieve that again this year. So
Awesome. Well, I've seen some awards being passed around, and I think you have received a few. So I have no doubt that with your hard work and tenacity, you'll definitely achieve that. So
yeah.
I want to end with one last question.
Thank you, Aaron.
You know, if someone's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, there are a lot of options out there, right? It
Mhm.
feels like everyone knows a real estate agent, but we've also seen a fun fact that there is a pretty big percentage of real estate agents that don't close transactions. Maybe they have a
I mean,
part-time
it's
license or
crazy.
whatever. You
It's
know,
crazy
it
how many don't.
yeah,
So
I mean, it's a pretty big
even a
percentage.
transaction.
Yeah, it's a pretty big percentage, right? And I think like with any business, I think you have a certain percent that do most of the transactions, but there's people that do a onesie twosies here and there. And I've always been in the mind frame that I think you should be working with, a full-time real estate agent that dedicates it, that stays up with, the different, laws and just, anything that comes out from a regulation standpoint, working with a full-time agent, that knows what they're doing, knows the area, that has resources.
Hmm.
So if you're talking to everybody, on the video here, my I would say millions of followers, but I'm going to say tens of hundreds of
No, you just
followers.
put the pressure
Um,
on, huh?
what why should someone that's looking to buy, sell, or invest pick Alley?
Because I genuinely care about the results and the experience that my clients have, and my team is the same way. I mean, they back that 100%. We have systems and processes and tools that help us to do a great job for our clients. Communication is a big piece as well. Um, when you go through the real estate, process, you want someone that's going to be able to communicate with you at a high level. And that's something that I really take pride in, and I work around the clock for my clients. I mean, I obviously try, I have a family. I try to have, my time too, but I always prioritize my business. And I think my clients know that and feel that. Even though I may operate at a high, a pretty high level of clients per year, I get a lot of comments about, wow, I really felt like I was her only client. And like, that's what I want to do for
Yeah.
people. Like, I want them to feel like I did the best job I could and that I focused on them. And yeah, and just speaking to the team, the support that I have, I'm not just a one-man show. I've got a great team of support, and that helps me to provide a really great experience for my clients. I had a client close today on a home and they were like, wow, you made it so easy. And I was like, that is awesome. I love to hear that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want you to think it's easy. Like, I want you to know I'm working hard for you, but I want you to feel like you didn't suffer through that process because there are agents out there that really they're a challenge to work with. I work with them all the time on from partnering on transactions, and it's like pulling teeth to get them to call me back and, communicate with me about a deal I'm trying to keep together.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think that kind of sums it up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I love that. Like with the volume that you do, for someone to say I felt like I was her only client, like that does. I think that is a resounding testimonial and just something that's amazing, for them to think that. And it's got to make you feel good and just kind of reinforce,
Yeah, it is.
hey,
It's
what
like,
we're doing is
yes.
working, right? Like what we're doing is working, and we've got, great processes and procedures in place, and you're creating more referable experiences, and there's a reason why you're able to do 70 transactions, right? So
Absolutely.
I
Yep.
love that.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time.
you, Aaron.
I thought this was amazing. I can't wait to share this with everyone. So I hope you have a great rest
You
of your Friday. And let's
You
see,
too.
it's going to get a little bit warmer as we
Thank
record this.
God.
We
Yes.
just got through some like single degree digit weather, so I think we're
Single and
uh,
negatives.
yeah, and negative, right? -5, I think, was the
I
high
think
the
we're
other
going to
day.
be like 20 or something tomorrow.
Yeah, a
Or
whopping
20 or
there's gonna
30, 30s, 40s
be
by
people
Sunday.
tomorrow outside running in shorts.
Oh,
That's what we do
100%.
in Minnesota.
But today I was guilty. I went outside. I had to go outside and let my dog out, and I had shorts on, and I was like 8 degrees out. I was like, I wasn't prepared for this,
Hey,
but I
but hey,
did
we're built different in Minnesota.
it.
That's
We
for
are.
sure.
And
Well,
then I
thank
saw
you.
the neighbor walking by all bundled up. I was like, yeah, I look ridiculous right now.
Yeah, you're like, okay, who's the crazy lady?
It
Oh
was me.
man. But hey, thank you so much.
Thanks,
I know
Aaron.
you're busy. We'll talk soon, and have a good weekend, okay?
You too.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.